Welcome to the Specialty Cropcast on Pomes and Stones. Join us for real conversations with farmers, agribusiness owners, and industry experts as we dive into farming, products, and the business of agriculture, all from the people who know it best.
We are excited to have Nishino America as our title sponsor for 2026. Nishino is driven by ingenuity and R&D, bringing innovative chemistry that works. They back every product with a customer-focused expert who knows your field and is ready to help. Stop guessing and find solutions today at www.nishino.net. Thanks again for Nishino for sponsoring the show and this episode of the Specialty Cropcast.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
It's good to have everybody here. We are in a new location, if you haven't noticed. If you're watching, we are here at the Great Lakes Fruit and Veggie Expo.
From an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location here at the Expo. We had a little side deal, got us in a nice room. Thanks, Nikki.
Very nice.
So we're excited here to talk to some growers that are a little bit out of our normal reach in northern Michigan. So that was really cool for us to get Chad in here. So we'll go around the table. To my right, as always, backward hat Steve does not have his hat on today because he's dressed up nice.
Business attire today.
But hoodie Zach has
still wearing it. Yep.
He has his normal attire. And our guest in studio this week, a blueberry grower, our very first blueberry grower.
Yeah.
It's Chad Reenders. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
It is very nice to take the time out of your. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot going on, especially in a conference like this. So we appreciate your time. Obviously, we talk to industry experts, farmers, agribusiness owners about their operation, and so I figured why not dip our toes into the blueberry world.
For sure.
And I've seen you online before and met you last year at this very show, and I said, you know what, we should have Chad on while he's down. So tell us a little about yourself, about your operation, and what you got going on.
Yeah, so my family's been farming blueberries since 1956. I am the fourth generation, and I originally started working on my dad's / grandfather's blueberry farm. They were doing about 800 to 900 acres of blueberries. I worked there for over 15 years, and it just got to the point where I felt like I needed to slow down a little bit because it was just pedal to the metal. So I walked away from that, and I'm farming now with my brother-in-law on 200 acres. We run our own farm and own packing facility, and I'm pretty much the farm manager and just take care of the crops out on the farm.
And then so it's a family operation. Do you have some other family members then that help you out there?
So where I'm working now, it's just me and my brother-in-law, Eric. Okay. So he's the boss. It's his money.
Well, that's always more fun to play with.
Yeah, I'm a hands-on guy. I'm the guy that wants to be in the field. I'm the guy that wants to fix the tractor, run the tractor, do picking, all that stuff. So that's what I pretty much told him. I said, you let me play in the dirt.
Somebody else manage
you can run the business
money.
and the money.
Yep.
Well,
that's what he does. So
it's a lot more fun doing your job than worrying about the books.
It's just as stressful, honestly. And I mean, he farms too, obviously, but he's a way better businessman than I am. I'm not great with financials, but I can fix an engine if I need to. So.
Right. So you had mentioned before to me that you had done some work at Ferris and you kind of shifted ideas. So what led you from obviously having a great background in mechanical work really plays well on the farm? How did you make that decision leaving?
Yeah, so I grew up on the farm with my dad. I started working when I was 10 years old. I mean, I remember having a Folgers can with a teaspoon of fertilizer, and I'd put one in every pot in the nursery. You know, when you're 10, you get paid like $2 an hour, and mom only let me work like 2 hours a day, but whatever, you know, before child labor stuff and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But so I've been on my farm my entire life, but I love to tear stuff apart, put it back together. And in high school, like, you don't ever really know what you want to do, right? You go to the counselors or whatever, and they're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, well, I want to fix stuff. So I went to Ferris State University, got my associate's degree in automotive service, thought I was going to be a full-time mechanic tech. I did that for like 6 months, and it just wasn't in my DNA. I didn't like having four walls around me. I didn't like, this was early 2000s, people smoked a lot of cigarettes back then. I'm not a smoker. Like, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Ended up calling my dad and going, hey, can I have my old job back of, running tractors and stuff? He's like, yep. So I went back there and then just kind of grew from there. We ended up running, for a while there, we were running 7 mechanical harvesters with like a 50-man hand picking crew. My brother runs the packing facility. My cousin was running the store, which is the fresh market retail. I mean, they have a full-on blowing operation there. But we didn't work Sundays, thank goodness. That was kind of our family rule, no Sunday work. But Monday through Saturday during harvest, it was go time. And being the farm kid, you're the first one in and the last one out. So it was a lot of stressful stuff. And I had a wife and 3 kids. At the time, I think I had 2 kids. But I just decided, hey, like I need to slow down a little bit.
Right.
So I told Dad, I said, this is my last season. And then ended up, my brother-in-law ended up calling me out of the blue going, hey, you want to run a sprayer tonight? You know, because I've been running tractors my whole life. Yeah, I'll run a sprayer. And the next day he's like, you want to run the harvester tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I can run the harvester. By the end of the week, he's offering me a full-time gig. And I'm like, you offering me a job? He's like, yeah, you want to work here full-time? I'm like, okay. You know, and I've been there, I think 4 years now.
Nice.
So we've got a pretty good relationship. Like I said, he's a good money guy. I'm a good mechanic. So it ends up working out pretty well. So
nice. Yeah. One thing that I kind of always struggle with a touch, and I'm guessing Steve understands this too a little bit, and Zach's getting into it, is balancing the family life with what you're doing on the farm, because you still want to be able to. Farming takes a lot of commitment at certain times of the year, and it's super important, and you need to be present to at certain times a lot to get things done right, or maybe whether or not you trust your guys to do the right thing or whatever all the time, right?
Right.
But there's a balance, a tough balance of the farm life and being present at home and all of that. And so when I had asked you for some questions, and if you follow Chad online at all, you can tell his family's very important to Chad and what he does. So talk a little about how you balance your life and with your 3 boys, and also fostering a child now.
Yeah. So I've been married to my wife since 2009. Don't ask me how many years that is. You can do the math. And so when I met my wife, I mean, most farmers that are like me, you have to marry a very strong, stubborn woman, because I call her the blueberry widow, because during July and August, I'm just not there.
Right.
Back in the day when I worked for my dad, we had a camper. We would sleep in the camper at night because I'd get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I didn't feel like driving home for 20 minutes. I would just sleep in the camper. So, and it got to the point where it took us actually 7 years to get pregnant for our biological son. Went through a lot of surgeries with my wife, and pretty much at the end of that, she's like, I am not going through that process again. I would like to foster. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's got to be
it's a big
thing.
commitment.
Yeah.
So this was just before COVID. So we did all the licensing, the classes. We got our license. And then we ended up we've had 3 children come through our home. The first one ended up going back to his dad. But the other 2 we ended up adopting. So I have my biological son, Winston. He's 8. My middle child, Zayden, he's my adopted son. And then my youngest, Saber, his birthday's actually today. He's 4. So we adopted both of them just this past summer. It ended up working out kind of crazy. They're from 2 completely different families, but the way the paperwork process went, ended up going in front of the same judge. So we ended up doing it in one day. We had all the families there, and grandmas and grandpas, and it was a really cool event.
Yeah.
And if anybody out there ever wants to think about fostering, I'd highly suggest that you look into it. But it is a very, it's a rewarding job, but it's also it struggles, because these kids come from a very dark place sometimes.
Right.
And you have to be their light in the dark. So, but my boys are awesome. They're great. I mean, I don't know what I would do without them. So
Future farmers, or
they enjoy the farm
1, maybe
life?
2. My oldest is, he's kind of a tech nerd. So I'm not sure how farming is going to relate to him, but my adopted sons, we have tractors at the house. I live on 10 acres of blueberries, obviously. We play with pumpkins and other stuff, but I try to get them in the dirt, try to get them to plant seeds, learn about irrigation. I give them all their own block of blueberries. So like, this is your block, this is your block. They go out there and pull weeds. They check the sprinklers and all that stuff.
Nice.
So.
That's good.
Competition, who can...
Oh gosh, yeah. They count the plants in the row. Like, hey, I got 300 plants in this row. Oh, I got 250. Like, I didn't know that was the competition.
Right. You'd like to see a more equal number there. You'd like to see a couple 300s.
Didn't think about that.
So I also brushed over in the intro that you're also the president of the Michigan Blueberry Advisory Committee.
Correct.
So that's a pretty neat gig. Explain a little bit about what your job is there and what you do.
Yeah. So
in that role.
The MBBAC, as we call it, a little shorter than the whole long name. We're a nonprofit that focuses on representation of Michigan blueberries, whether it's a state or federal level, or even in counties. Our group has been to DC, it's been to Lansing, advocating on behalf of Michigan blueberry farmers. In this world that we're living in now, it is so, like, communication is so easy, right? Like, we see everything on our phones, our TVs, everything. And it's the same with the blueberry market. Whereas back in the day, you know, when my dad farmed, everybody was in their corner, right? This guy had his farm, this guy had his farm, this guy had his market, he had their market. Now all of our markets are connected. Whether you're selling fresh or frozen, that market is connected all the way down to Florida, all the way down to the imports coming in from Canada, from Peru. So we have to communicate. We have to make sure that there's policies in place, whether it comes with crop insurance, whether it comes with grant monies, whatever it is that focus on the farm. And that our committee, that's what we focus on, is making sure there's representation of the Michigan blueberry farmers and not anybody else. So.
And you've been in that role since?
It's been a few years. I think I've been president for like 2.5 years. My fellow blueberry farmer introduced me to the committee. I never thought I would be in politics, but I actually love it. I love the communication between people. I love bringing the representation I have of the Michigan blueberry growers to DC and to Lansing to tell people, hey, this is what our growers need. You know, our farmers are landowners, right? And they take care of the land. They protect the land. I mean, I watch your guys' videos of excavating trees or whatever. Like, we take care of the land better than anybody else does. And we don't always make a profit on the farm. And everybody I talked to at this expo today is like, well, everybody makes money on us. I'm like, yeah, they do. It starts with the farmer, and then it goes through all these different channels before it gets to the consumer. But at the end of the day, the farmer is the one taking care of the land, protecting the land. And that's kind of what, you know, we kind of focus on. So
Nice. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I've been pulling trees out, and it's funny how many comments you'll get about people saying you're destroying the land. And I'm like, I'm pulling up rotten stumps,
Right.
and I'm going to plant fruit trees.
Right.
Like, you guys are just someone who scrolls by for 3 seconds and decides they want to put a comment out about how
I was going to
trashing
ask
the
you that
land.
if people give you
there's a lot
comments.
of there's some Karens out there that have a lot to say.
Or some comments on how he greases the machine.
Yeah, Zach was on my.
Oh, really?
You know, I helped Dick grease his machine the other day, and I was. Whoa, pause. That sounded.
Yes, I was going to say.
Whoa! I was like, no, I helped this guy grease his 160, and it's much easier when you have
Did
someone
he
else
teach you
there.
how to do it?
No, he sat in the cab and bent and curled the bucket.
Oh,
but,
he moved it so you could get to the grease fitting.
Zach's giving me a hard time, but when it's just me, I park that thing in the most spot that I can
Do you
get
run the
90%
battery
of it.
operated?
Oh
grease
yeah,
gun?
Milwaukee
Okay.
grease gun.
Oh,
Yeah, put it on the floorboard in the cold days. Let her warm up.
Yeah.
Oh, forget that. If it gets cold, trying to pump cold grease.
I had a buddy from college. He saw one of my posts. He's like, "You have a battery operated grease gun?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I got 50 grease points on a loader." He's like, "You're such a wussy." And then he bought one like 6 months later, and he's like, "This thing's awesome." I'm like, "I told you."
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you go from under greasing to over greasing real easy. You're
You
like,
have to carry extra tube in the truck.
that one greaser you never want to get. You're like, I'm going to get that thing. No problem. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching his video that he posted taking the trees out, and he was showing us how he greases the excavator, and he's got the bucket in his pickup truck parked underneath the
Standing up trying to get it.
so he can get to the top grease. I said, "What are you doing?"
Just lower it down.
Yeah,
No,
curl it down and lay it on the ground.
It's okay. Yeah, but then after that, then I have to move and readjust everything to get all the other stuff. There's a couple that you can't get when it's bent. So if I leave it like that, all I do when I pull up, I park under it.
You look young. Just wait a few more years.
That's all right. I'm an old 31. It's wow, we got sidetracked there.
Sorry.
No, that's completely
So
fine.
what's the state of the blueberry industry, would you say, right now? You
For
guys-
Michigan or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, both.
For Michigan, we are kind of in a transition, is probably a good word to use. So Michigan's been farming blueberries since the 50s. My great-grandfather and other farmers at the time kind of started doing blueberries. Michigan didn't have a lot of blueberries before then. So a lot of the genetics are decades old.
Yep.
But like I said earlier, marketers are changing, consumers are changing. Varieties just aren't as big. They're not as blue. They're not as crunchy. So right now, Michigan is kind of in this transition of removing old bushes, putting in new genetics. The problem with Michigan is we only have 3 months of growing season for blueberries. So when you do that, it takes 3 to 4 years for those bushes to get into production where you can actually make a profitable margin.
Sure.
Other states like Florida or further out west like California, they can swap out plants and in 1 or 2 years have a full grown plant, full production. What I like to tell people is you can't beat a Michigan blueberry taste because of the sugar content and the flavor. So, I mean, you don't get paid more for flavor, but that's always my proposition for Michigan blueberries is they just taste better. The soil's perfect for blueberries.
Yeah. How long will blueberry like high bush last for?
My family has some that are 50 or 60 years old. Yeah. They've got some old jerseys and a lot of people are starting to take them out now, but yeah, they can go 56 years where like other warmer states are only 10 to 15 years just because of the stress on the plant. They're growing more, you know.
Yeah.
So is that a change in genetics in the blueberry that's allowing that?
That's
to
changed the
happen?
genetics. That's them breeding, different parts of the bush to create, because the problem with the blueberry bush is you need the structure of the bush itself. You can get really flimsy genetics where the branches are very loose. As soon as you get any fruit on them, they'll fall onto the ground. Where you have other bushes that are very sturdy. But then you have the stem part of the bush that's very important because that holds the berry to the bush. And then you have the size of the berry as well. So there's a lot of, I'm not a scientist, don't quote me on any of this, but there's a lot of genetic stuff in there that creates the best blueberry. And then you have to put it in the right climate.
Right.
Michigan, we are very unique with our cold winters. So a lot of it's called high chill. It's how long that bush can stay cold and dormant in our very brisk winters. I was just talking to a grower this morning about the polar vortex this year and how they are predicting probably by January we're going to be in the negative 10 to 15 degrees, which for blueberries is not great. It kind of gets to the breaking point on some of our genetics on that. So wood gets doesn't like that.
And you'll have winter die off.
We'll
from
have winter
that?
die off.
Yeah.
Buds will be black in the spring.
Yeah, so that's not viable.
What are some of the major like diseases, insects, problems you guys deal
Gull
with?
wasp on some of our varieties is a big issue. There hasn't really been a golden fix for that. I was just talking to a farmer this morning about paying a guy to come down with some guys and cut them off, and you have to burn them. We put them in barrels and we burn them because if you let them sit, they'll still hatch.
So they literally make a gall on the plant.
Yeah, if you don't know what a gall is, there's a whip or a branch, and it stings it. You'll see the hole, and then it'll grow its babies or whatever you want to call it into the wood, and it actually creates like a bump on it.
Yep.
There's two issues with that. One is obviously whatever's above that probably won't produce any fruit. The second issue for packing facilities is you get it in the packing facility when you harvest it. So now you have to figure out a way to remove that from the viable fruit and not have it in your finished package because you'll get rejections, and you get rejections, you can't sell the fruit. So there are applications of spraying with oils and other pesticides that can kill it, but the timing of that's very crucial, and usually that's around pollination time, which we're already very crucial with our harvest of bees.
Right.
So we've got some growers that manually go out there, cut them, and then you can see them right now without the leaves on. You can see them all winter.
So you can get after it.
They're just like little marbles on the bush. So, but it's a very labor intensive job.
Oh, I bet.
So,
what does your harvest season look like? What's the optimum blueberry harvest?
So for Michigan, kind of where we're based at with the Grand Rapids area, it's usually the 4th of July is where we start. People ask me, when are blueberries coming? 4th of July. After the 4th of July is usually when your local farm markets will start having Michigan blueberries. That goes all the way, first week of September, roughly. That window,
season.
that 2-month window. But we start out with our early stuff, like Dukes, Early Blue Jays. Those are usually our early pollination bushes, and then we move into the more common ones like Blue Crop. The new variety now is Calypso, and then we move into our late season of Liberties, Elliots, Auroras, and that's kind of our late season. They have more of a tart taste, soury taste, which I kind of like, but some retailers don't. So it's Michigan. We kind of have a variety of different flavors as you go across the summer.
It's kind of just like apples. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it can. Well, there's a million different apple varieties, and you can, based on what you're planting or how your acreage is built out, you plant different varieties at different times to spread your harvest out.
Right,
to,
and a lot
to
of
keep your
growers do
labor
that.
heavy.
They try to, say you're a 100-acre farm, you try to proportion your farm so where you're harvesting for that full 2 months.
Right. You have,
If not, your whole season's in like 3 weeks.
and then you have a hard time getting all your fruit off.
You
if
know,
don't have
and
enough
well,
people.
and that in the market, sometimes the markets aren't. There's certain parts of the market that are better. So maybe early's great, but then mid's kind of overloaded, so it's low, and then the late's up again. So
Right.
growers try to dissipate that profit margin.
So
across
you
the summer.
mechanically harvest all your acres?
We do both. We do mechanical harvest, and then we do a lot of leader picking with. We went back to hand labor this year actually.
Okay.
For our 200 acres. For the past 3 or 4 years, we've been just mechanical. but it's very picky process because your quality issues. And with blueberries, I don't know how apples do it, but we do it on a percentage base. So like say the bush is at 100% blueberries, right? We usually go in there at 20% blue to start harvesting. First pick, we call it first pick. And then second picking is like 50%. And then third picking is like 30%. And then you usually have a cleanup harvest of 20% or whatever.
Gotcha.
Somewhere in there. Well, those first two pickings are your best. That's your best crop. Those are the big plump blueberries, the real crispy ones. After that, you get a lot of soft. You'll get disease-ridden if it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. So those first two pickings are crucial. And we're kind of learning, especially with these newer varieties, we got to hand-pick that first 20% because they're ripe. I mean, they're blue. 60 days after pollination, they're blue. Boom. You get that 20%, then you wait 7 to 8 days, and you can go in there and machine pick it. Get that 50, get the bulk, get the big stuff out, then you go back for cleanup.
Does sunlight drive some of that? That coloring of the
sunlight,
fruit, right? So when you get those big fruit
exactly.
out, then it fills back in.
Yeah. And there's certain varieties, Bluetta, it's kind of an older variety, but they get a green. We call it greenback, where the stem is still green when you harvest it. They just never see the sunlight. There's just a tight cluster. So, and you'll see that too in a wooded farm if it's got a lot of trees around it. The outside 3 rows will usually be pretty green compared to the other center rows.
So this machine harvester though, have you seen one?
Yeah, it goes over the row.
Yeah,
it has the fingers.
They sway side to side.
Yeah.
So the history of those is kind of cool. They used to call them slappers. So there's fingers that literally slapping the bush like this. Well, then I don't know what it was decades ago. They learned to sway it. So, and that's kind of what I specialize in is the sway machines. So you sway the bush left to right. You can adjust the gap of the sway. You can adjust how fast it goes. You can adjust your ground speed. And then there's also rotaries, which is like a big pine tree. There's like 2 big pine trees of plastic fingers, and they rotate inside the bush and kind of shake it. That's slower. You have to harvest that at about 0.5 mile an hour. Where with my sway machine, we pick at 1 to 2 miles an hour.
What brings a higher quality?
Depends on the grower. Who you ask.
The operator,
The operator.
I feel like that's true for about any.
Yeah, I mean that's personally, I can pick with a sway probably better than most people. But
you heard it here first.
I've been running sways for a long time. I worked with Haven Harvesters. They're a company down in South Haven. They designed their picker. Me and my brother and my cousins at Reenders, we kind of helped them design it because we knew what we wanted. We just couldn't physically build it. And they built a machine that I absolutely love. But there's other companies like Oxbow that they run rotaries. A lot of guys in West Michigan run those as well. The only issue with those is the ground speed. You can't go past 1 mile an hour, which to the viewers are like, oh, it's only 1 mile an hour. It's the world of difference when you're harvesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because that 1 mile an hour on a blueberry farm is 1 acre an hour. Well, if I have to pick 20 acres, that's going to take me 20 hours.
Right.
If I run my sway machine, I can do 2 miles an hour. I can do that in 10 hours.
Right.
That's a lot different in harvest time. So, you see those videos on Instagram or whatever it is of, oh, hey, we're doing 4.5 miles an hour in tractor. That's huge. That 0.5 mile an hour from 4 to 5 is huge because it makes the world a difference. So.
Right. I love watching the row crop guys that are tilling at like
10 mile an
10
hour.
mile an hour. They're just ripping.
But they're not even driving. They're just
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, who does that?
Right.
Who's got GPS on their tractor?
I can't wait till that comes to specialty crops.
It's here. This is
It's
John
here,
Deere
but
stuff.
I can't afford that.
Yeah, that's the
Come on.
difference. It's here, but do you want to break the bank on it?
Yeah.
Does mechanically harvesting the bush have any downsides to going back in and manually picking cleanup after?
I mean, it depends on the machine. So like a lot of our machines that we run, we actually put brushes inside the machine and we put some foam pads. So when you sway that bush, there's a net in there as well. So it hits the net, kind of takes the impact, falls down. We've got a couple different finger systems that it kind of bounces through real slow onto a nice plastic belt. Bruising wise, it's okay. If you're talking about the bush health itself,
No, just as far as being able to go back in and manually
yeah,
harvest.
it depends on the ripeness of the bush.
Okay.
So if I go in there and that bush is like 80% blue, I'm going to pick it almost clean. Because I still get some of the unripe fruit that's in there. I can't tune that machine that intense, so there ain't going to be much left. But if I time it right, I can go in there at 20, 30% and pick with a machine. I just have to very lightly touch it. Take the ripe stuff, leave everything else. Then you can go back and hand pick it. And that's what I try to teach growers too. I'm like, hey, like it's not just the machine. It's your timing. It's your irrigation. It's your fertilizer. It's everything. It's what time of day you're picking. Like we have some farms that bring us fruit, and I'm like, don't pick after 2:00 and don't start till after 4:30. Why? It's too hot. That fruit is too hot. Just don't pick in that window. That's all I ask, because it's the heat of the day. Those berries sit in the lug. They're 95 degrees, and I have to cool them down to 35. Like, it takes a lot of energy, and it end up losing a lot of quality.
We see that in the summer with the heat of cherry harvest. I mean, we don't stop, but you got to be careful about overloading. If you have a big crop and you have a lot of fruit on the conveyor belt, even if we have we call them quarter pounders on our farm, where we have 250 pounds like a tree. Okay. And you shake all that one time, that's way too much. I mean, those belts only move the fruit so fast, so that fruit's sitting this thick on the belt. And so, as you would imagine.
Now, cherries, are they pretty soft during harvest as well? Like
they can, definitely the warmer it gets. That's why harvesting at night's almost more preferred, because that fruit firmness is a little bit more.
You guys harvest at night?
We do. We do 24 hours a day on our farm. But
24 hours a day?
Yep.
Do you run 2 crews?
4 during the day, 4 at night.
I don't want to do that.
It's quite a sight. No,
it's pretty. It's
I've
intense.
never seen that.
It's pretty.
Check it out.
I've come out and watched them at night, and we harvest during the day at our farm.
Are you doing cherries?
Yeah, we do cherries too. I would almost prefer to harvest at night. It's so much cooler outside.
Everyone's happier. There's less people standing and gawking, and
you don't have cars
traffic
swerving off the road. Looking,
I get that part.
Yeah, we start usually the last week of June in southern Michigan at our farm down there, and we go till about the first week of August. We'll do usually 6 or 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, just to get through our stuff. And we usually don't even get to it all before quality starts becoming
farmers
an issue
are just a different breed. Do you say that in any other industry? Like maybe other than doctors and nurses, that's about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wish it wasn't a topic that I always ask people, I guess, but I think it's going to become more and more something we ask every podcast is, what's like the climate with older generation getting out and then younger growers taking over that farm? Or are you, in your industry, are you seeing more of medium-sized or larger growers absorbing acreage that people don't want to farm, or they don't have kids that want to continue the farm? Or do you guys pick up favorable leases because families want to see it farmed, they just don't have the time, or they don't want to do it? What's that look like for the blueberry industry?
I think it's a combination. There's a lot of older generation out there. There's a lot of 60, 70-year-old farmers out there that probably lived off a 30 or 40 acre farm, or dad had it and split it to his 2 kids. We see that a lot in our area. And unfortunately, in the blueberry world, if you are not picking and packing, you're not making very much money. Mm-hmm. If you're only picking or farming, your profit margin is so slim. It's almost impossible. Unless you have a decent farm and you make a good production, it's very slim to live off that. The only way to really stay sustainable in the blueberry market is to pick and pack, because your variance there is a little bit wider. Your profitability is a little wider. But we're seeing these older generations either leasing their property, where I come to them as a farmer and be like, I'll pay you so much an acre or so much a pound I pick, and you can live off that as your retirement. Mm-hmm. We are seeing farms go up for sale. Unfortunately, the only problem is in West Michigan area, it is a fortune to buy land. Mm-hmm. I mean, Holland is $20,000 to $30,000 an acre. You can't make a profit on farming like that. Mm-hmm. So that's going to housing markets. Or I have seen in the Michigan blueberry world, I have seen where people actually sell a farm and a younger family does buy it and either turns it into a hobby farm or a U-pick farm or some kind of, I have seen that too. So there are different stages of that. Most of it right now is getting absorbed by these larger blueberry farms, which right now is probably the best thing for them because it's going to stay a farm.
Right.
I don't love to see that. I'd love to see a bunch of 100-acre farms out there, but the sustainability in the market is it's really hard to do that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I guess loop back around to harvest. You guys, what do you do to source most of your labor?
So we use H2A mostly. It's just a lot easier to, with H2A, it's a lot easier to have consistent employees. Dependable help. Yeah. They show up when I tell them to show up. And as much bad publicity as H2A gets, our guys are awesome.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think that's pretty consistent. Everyone we talk to, they're like, dude, we love our guys.
So we hire, say 20 people. I don't know exactly how many it is. 15 of them come back every year because they want to work for us. And I know that's with other growers too. Like they have their people that they hire, and because they want a job too, they're sending that money back to their families. You know, they want a consistent job. I give them what they have to do every day. I'd be like, hey, we're working late tonight. We got to pick this field and get it done and bring it in. And
They've got a smile on their face.
they're like, all
ready
right.
to do it.
I'm like, I'll buy you pizza. I'll buy you pizza tonight if you guys will work till 10 with me. Yep, let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
Pizza and Coca-Cola.
yeah, Mountain Dew.
Goes for
My guys
miles.
are Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Dude,
But-
my dude's monsters. They love a monster.
Really?
Dude.
No, Mountain Dew.
Dude, you
I'll
put
do.
a, you put
I'll
a
do some
monster in front of them.
Grubhub. I'll do some Grubhub or Uber Eats or something, and they'll bring it right to the farm. And we're in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, it says, "Where are you?" Like, look for the giant blueberry picker in a white pickup truck.
Oh, that's funny. Uber Eats has not been very popular in Traverse. That's just relatively the last 5-6 years that you can start to get some stuff. Me and a guy, we ordered about 70 wings from B-Dubs this harvest. we were eating good. That was out in Acme. Sent it to our bed and breakfast.
I used to order
Dropped
like
it off
150 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's when I worked for my dad, and I would have to pay for it over the phone before they would make the order because I'm like, listen, I'm giving you a 2-hour window to get this done. Right. They're like, no, but you don't understand. You have to pay for it. That's a lot of cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got like 70 people over here.
Yeah.
We do that too. We try to do it every Friday night. We'll get, or Friday, and then the night crew.
Yeah.
Each respective crew gets like a treat.
meal. Yeah.
And so we do, usually it's double cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
You can get like a deal, like it's buy one, get one like 50% off. And it's like, they're like, how many do you want? I'm like, I need 100 McDoubles. Like, and they're like, no, I don't know if we can do it. You're not going to show up. Like, they're like, we get prank calls all the time. We make all these burgers and nobody shows.
Oh, goodness.
I'm like, oh, could you imagine slaving away? And of course, we call like, how late are you open? And
Right.
they're like 10. And I'm like, at 9:50, I need 150 burgers. And they're like,
Are you coming from
dude.
the bar?
How hungry are you? Oh, man.
Yeah, I take all my guys out to the Chinese buffet at the end of the year before
They love
before
that.
they fly
Really?
home. Oh, they love it.
Really?
I don't know if it's because the Chinese food or it's just all you can eat, but the smiles
Probably a
on their
combination
faces when
of
they
both.
walk out of there.
It's that, and they love going to Lids. They love a good backwards cap. They love a good Lakers cap, dude.
Oh, any store they go into, they go to the hat rack first to see what kind of hats they got for sale.
Dude, they are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That and just packs of smokes. I've never seen people chain smoke more in my life.
And
That's
then when
how
they go
hard it
home,
is.
they just quit cold turkey.
My guys don't really smoke
Oh,
that
they
much.
they smoke away, and they'll like, I'll hear
Yeah.
them. They're talking to their wife, and they're like, he starts coughing, and
Oh,
he'll tell his wife,
does
yes.
it.
Oh, yeah,
and, his-
they don't.
yeah. And he'll say, oh, it's the smoke from the buses. You
Yeah, they say
lying.
as soon as they get home, they quit
Cold
cold
turkey.
turkey because Mama doesn't like
Yep.
cigarettes.
Don't piss off mama.
I love it. They go back and they knock their wife up, and then they leave for 10
Oh,
months.
no,
It's a
you're-
great, it's a
no
great
joke on that
system.
one. Yeah.
It is not a joke. It's like a full-blown system.
Yep.
At least 3 of our 20 dudes come back. They're like, yeah, I got another kid. Looks like I'm coming back. Like, how many is that? He's like, 4.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, just has that beat down look to him.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yep.
oh my goodness.
But they all text me when they get back home. They say, we
yep.
made it safe.
They're already calling
Thank
me.
you. Thank you for the opportunity.
I follow a lot of my guys on
back.
Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, and they message me once in a while.
They appreciate the work. They make good. They make good money for hard work. And they're like, well, I put my kid through school, bought 2 cars, and I'm building a house. I'll never not come back if you call.
So
I'm like,
I'm a guy that likes to know someone's history, and like
Right.
a lot of my guys, I mean, we spend hours together on a machine, right? You talk.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to him. And the one guy, his name's Omar. I've known him for a few years, and I'm like, "How are your kids doing?" He's like, "Good. I'm putting them through private school." I'm like, he's like, "They're gonna be better than I ever was." I'm like, "Darn tootin'
that's
right,
the goal,
dude."
right?
So I mean, it's
Right.
as much crap as we get about being farmers and hiring cheap labor, which we don't. Like,
It's not cheap.
we are also creating very good economic families out there that can thrive.
Something that is relatively new to the cherry industry is crop insurance. Now, what does that look like for the blueberry growers? You guys have federal crop insurance?
Yes. Yep. And our committee has been working actually with the USDA RMA for a few years now. We've actually changed some policies for Michigan blueberry growers, and now we've got other states that are kind of following our lead on that. Crop insurance for blueberries has been kind of just like farming blueberries, very old school. And the program was very generic. If you think of it like a pot of gold, you have your whole harvest in one pot. Well, if you have a loss on this farm, but you do really good on this farm, your average is going to be a normal average. So we had growers paying these premiums on crop insurance, but they were never getting an actual claim on their farm, on this 10-acre block, because they had frost damage. They had a drought, they had issues. Well, what we created was smaller pots for these growers to put their blueberries in. So with the USDA RMA, we kind of created categories. So early, mid, and late. So and I'm not sure how this is with cherries and apples, but like certain varieties are marked as early, and when we buy them from our plant people, certain ones are marked mid, certain ones are marked late. So we automatically already had a category. We put them in. So when these growers harvest, say your early variety is blossomed during the second week of May, and we get a frost in the second week of May. Well, it takes out that category of blueberries. But your other two categories were not quite full bloom yet. They could take 30, 31 degrees. They weren't damaged. You did well. Now these growers can put a claim in on this category and still harvest and make a profitability on the other two categories. RMA worked with us. I think it was like a 2-year project. And then we have to go through all the paperwork, obviously, of promoting it. And then they actually took it in. And now growers can essentially categorize their blueberries into these 3 categories. And this year, thank goodness we had it in market, because we're seeing a very down year for Michigan blueberries. And I've had growers personally call or text me going, thank goodness we got that program, because you just saved, got us out of a very big hole we were in. So, Michigan, 10 years ago, Michigan would produce around 100 million pounds of blueberries. And now we're averaging about 70 million. But unfortunately, after this season, I think we're down about 20%. The numbers have not come in yet. Don't quote me on that. But I think we're down 20% overall as a state, just because I've got certain growers that have contacted me saying, I only picked 50% of my crop this year. Well, that's huge to a farmer.
Right.
I mean, 10% is ouch. 50% is catastrophic. So
Yeah.
we're still waiting for those numbers to come in. They won't be until probably springtime, once everybody does everything they have to do. But these programs, so now we have a crop insurance program. And I know when I talk about crop insurance, because my salesman laughs at me, it's so boring. It is boring, but it's also very realistic. These farmers are investing 365 days a year into their farm. And in one night, they can lose everything that they've worked on. So with the government subsidies, the premiums are very affordable. There's different categories. There's different percentages. You can buy like a 75% coverage, at 85% coverage. You can tack on. There's a thing called county coverage. So where Ottawa County suffers, say Ottawa County is marked as a suffering county, all of those growers would get a check of a percentage, even if you did good. But your brothers around you didn't do good, that county suffered, you would get a check as well. So it just needed to be updated, and there was nobody to take charge on it. So that's what our committee did. We're like, listen, this needs to be worked out. We need to talk about this. The markets are different. And I'm not sure on other commodities with cherries and stuff, if you guys have what your crop insurance policies look like, but that's kind of what we did and what we based it off of.
And then what kind of weather events or like natural occurrences does that cover? Like straight up like a frost?
Yeah,
or
frost,
hail, what is
drought, hail, I believe. Yep, hail. And it has to be reported or somehow recorded.
Right at the date or
at
after the
that
event?
date or after that date. USDA has been really good with keeping track of this stuff. I was just in the FSA office yesterday. They have a whole drought monitor for Michigan where you can go on there and see what everything's in brackets, but which brackets are in drought monitor and what they're rated at, level 1, level 2, level 3.
Sure.
The technology's out there. I mean, and crop insurance, I mean, I think it's one of the underutilized tools in agriculture other than row crops. Because I feel like those guys have it figured out, and apples too. Apples have it pretty good figured out, but when it comes to specialty crops, I think we're catching up, but we're a little behind on the 8 ball on that.
How can consumers help support blueberries? What's something that you could reach the consumer with to advocate for your industry? What's like the number one thing?
I mean, first off is just eat blueberries. The main household, not every house buys blueberries at this point, and they're one of to me they're the healthiest, but they're one of the healthiest fruit out there that you can buy. There's a ton of science behind it, but just get them in your household, especially kids. Kids love blueberries. When it gets to that point, now it's of how do you implement it into your diet, whether it's smoothies, your cereal, whatever, your ice cream. I don't care what you put it on.
Couches.
Yeah, couches. I think last year that was pickleball or something. We were sponsors of the blueberries. We were sponsors of pickleball, but just start eating them. There's not enough blueberries. There's not enough people eating blueberries, first off. But then when you go to the markets, like for us, I always tell consumers, look at where it comes from. And unfortunately for retailers, it's very tricky because they really hide where the fruit comes from. And I don't know if other specialty crops deal with this, but it might say packaged in Florida, but that doesn't mean it was grown in Florida. Right. It might say product of blah, 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 Michigan or whatever, but is it an actual product? Like, you have to be very decisive. That's why I tell people, go to your local farmer markets. That's the easiest way for those farmers to make money. But I'm in wholesale, so go to your Costco's, go to your Walmarts, go to your Meijers, and one, just buy blueberries, because even if you buy imported berries, and I'm going to get a lot of farmers that slap me for saying this, you are eating up the inventory.
Right.
And when the inventory is eaten up, the markets go up.
Yep.
If you're really good, buy the United States blueberries. But I know how difficult that is. I have a wife and 3 kids. They go in there and just grab stuff. So. And nowadays people don't even go to the actual store. They just click a button on their phone.
Yeah.
So
I was getting after my wife about that. She kept coming home with Chilean apples, Honeycrisp.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? You're shopping at Meijer. What are we doing? Grab the Michigan apple. No, Michigan apple stickers.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I was like, whoa. I said, I'm online talking about people not buying fruit from our state.
And
And
your
someone
wife-
checks my wife's cart and she's buying stuff from Chile. You got to be kidding me.
Oh, my wife does the same thing.
Yeah, they all do.
But I mean, that's not what they're focused on, right? They're just trying to fill their cart, get the kids out of
Right.
there, get it in the car, and go home.
Right. Well, maybe it's
Right.
more upfront marketing saying like this, hey, this one right here is from here.
Right.
Instead of like,
Well, you'd think her husband growing the Honeycrisp would keep her supplied in fresh Michigan Honeycrisp.
ooh, well, not all the time.
Get a cooler. Put them away.
Jeez. I got meat in my cooler.
So go harvest some.
And a placenta. Have you heard the old?
Where are we going? Seriously?
Have you heard the
That
old?
takes 35 minutes.
Have you heard of the old wives' tale? You plant a placenta under a fruit tree and it will supposedly bear more and better fruit. Old wives' tale. So after my
Okey-dokey.
wife had her last kid, I said, I'm going to keep this thing. I'm going to plant it in the ground.
Oh, 2.5 pounds. Okay, so my tech guy back there tells me 2.5 pounds annually per person in America eat blueberries. That's not a lot.
That could go up.
That's
that
like
could
a
go
half
way
a
up.
bucket. Not even a bucket.
Yeah, we've had some conversations. I think it was with Bruce. We talked about how the CIAB talked to if we could get more cherries into school lunches. Like if you could get into 1% of school lunches, it was like $30
Same with
million
blueberries.
to the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's where I always tell marketers, I'm like, you got to go for the kids. Like they tell mom what they want to eat.
Yeah.
Right.
My kids, it's chicken nuggets and pizza. But if you
Throw
feed
some
them,
blueberries on that
Blueberry
pizza.
pizza.
Ooh.
that's not a bad little cream cheese on there or something. I don't know. That sounds like dessert, but I'll eat it.
Yeah.
No, my girlfriend's kid, she's 2, but she loves those go-go squeeze.
Oh, yeah.
Blueberry
We
punches.
went through that stage.
I've seen her
Oh, yeah.
get up in the morning and just hammer 4 or 5 of those first thing in the morning.
Jesus.
And
Oh,
she
yeah.
loves the blueberry flavor. That is her favorite.
It's my favorite girl right there.
Yeah,
There you
right?
go. Supporting the industry.
So I guess almost all that leaves us left time to talk about is Front Porch Dads.
Oh, yeah. My podcast.
Yeah,
A
hear
fellow
about this.
podcaster. Please tell us.
So me and my buddy Josh, we've been friends, a decade or so. And I don't know what you guys do on your Saturdays, but we sit on a front porch and drink bourbon. And he's got 5 kids. I had 4 when I had all 3 of my foster kids, but now I have 3 kids. People are like, how do you lose a kid? I'm like, it's foster. Sometimes they leave.
Left him at Disney.
So, but he's divorced. So he's kind of a single dad with 5 kids. And all of a sudden one day we're like, man, like we just talk about the coolest things, and someone had mentioned doing a podcast, so we started doing it, and all of a sudden all these dads are like, I want to be on your podcast, I want to be on your podcast. So like we don't really have an agenda, but it's more of, I feel like dads in this society that we live in, especially with technology, and I feel like it's getting better, just don't have a representation of what's going on with us, right? There's a stigma of, oh, it's just dad, he's just a work guy and he comes home and he sleeps and he goes to bed and blah 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 blah. No, like my buddy Josh, he works his butt off. He only sees his kids for 4 days a week. But then on the other side, he's building stuff for his kids. And like, we show that. And like, I do a lot of 2-tracking with side-by-sides and 4-wheelers, and I'm on the farm with the tractors. And we just try to take dads into different characters and different scenarios and just represent them and just kind of bring to life what's going on in the world of husbands and dads. And maybe drink a nice bottle of bourbon with it. So
Nothing wrong with that. These guys both don't drink, but
that's okay. I mean, you can whatever. I mean,
Right?
Wine,
Right?
gummy bears. I don't care what you do.
Blueberries.
blueberries, plenty of blueberries. If you come to be on Front Porch Dads.
Yeah. So, but no, that's our podcast, Front Porch Dads. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and we've got all social media stuff. It's pretty much social media goes through me, which is exhausting, but it's fun.
It's a lot of
But
work.
we have a lot of fun dads that, I mean, even reach out and my buddy Josh, he's done gift cards and handed them out to dads that just need $30 for Christmas, buy his kids some presents. So we've done that before too. So
Right, just to help out.
yeah,
A little bit goes a long way.
yeah,
That's awesome. I'll have to check it out.
yeah. Check it out.
Yeah, they
And,
go live sometimes. You can just
Really?
type some questions
Yeah,
in.
yeah. We,
Nice.
To 'em.
This is our downtime too. So we started to do more stuff. This summertime, I'm pretty much obliterated. I might do some short reels or something on the tractor, but
Right.
it's fun. It's a good time, and I don't know. I mean, who doesn't like to talk about being a dad? So,
Yeah.
It's
It's the best.
something
We tried
different
going
to do.
live once, and it was
It was disaster.
Which platform? Which
YouTube.
platform?
YouTube.
YouTube's really hard.
We got
For
some
live.
interesting.
They were some savages. in the
Oh
chat.
yeah, you got to ignore that stuff.
There were some savages. They
We do a
called
lot of
us,
TikTok. I
what'd
do a
they
lot of
call-
TikTok live.
Yeah, they said
That's
we
kinda
were
fun.
divorced dads podcast. These guys all look divorced.
Right.
The overaged frat boy, they were calling Steve.
Oh, yeah, me?
yeah.
I
Take
get
that as a compliment.
I
Take
get
that
it.
as a compliment.
No, but seriously,
Ruthless.
if these kids, who's ever these people commenting you,
Right.
they were on a farm working their butts off. They want to have
They
time to
wouldn't
comment
last.
about this. Well,
Exactly.
Yeah. we always had a joke on the farm because we'd always hire about 20 high school kids every summer, and I could pick out the 5 that weren't going to make it by the end of the week. It's just like, oh, that guy's not. Gonna
Yeah.
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 You know, with the H2A program, it's like if you hire if someone walks through the door, that you have to hire them, right? If you have
Right.
the H2A program.
Right.
And so, every once in a while, we'll catch a stray that's like looking, and we'll be like, all right. We put them like skimming on the night shift with all Hispanic
worst
people.
job. The worst
and
job.
You bet your butt.
He won't be there
3
tomorrow.
days later, they don't
No.
show up. And I'm like, well, that's why we put
I
them
had
there.
a kid one time, and he was a worker, but he wasn't the brightest, and he wore a cutoff shirt in the middle of summer. He's a very white boy, and no hat, no sunglasses. I'm like, dude, like I had everything in my truck. I'm like, you want some sunscreen? I got like this old sombrero hat. You want to? I'm good. By 3:00 that afternoon, he's under a tree, just like. I'm like, you're hot, aren't you? You got heat stroke? He's like, you need to take a break, dude.
He's like, yes.
And then the next day he can't move because he's like a.
Oh, the next day, his mom sent him like 3 bottles of sunscreen. He had a giant hat on, a long sleeve shirt. I'm like,
Big old
told you.
sombrero. There is something about the guys that there's the science behind wearing a long sleeve shirt in the sun. If
They
it's
say it keeps them cooler.
if it's
It
95,
does.
you're
I
going to
mean,
be
I'm on
hot.
top of a machine all day, and I wear like those real thin summer shirts that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
long. I wear a cowboy hat all summer because I don't want all my uncles have like the ear cancer stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want that. So a sombrero, I wear it every day. So, but not right now. There ain't much sunlight right now in Michigan.
No, it's that time of the year where you're like, oh, the sun's out. Like, it's going to be a good day.
Is
So
there
the
a
rest of the time,
is
it's
there
all,
a sun?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all just gloomy. Just seasonal depression. It's dark at 4. You're like, you're tired. You look at the clock. It's like 6 o'clock. And you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this
just
episode
get out
up?
there and support your local farm markets, your farmers. That's what I try to tell people. And don't be afraid of just trying something new. There's a lot of cool farm markets out there, whether it's apples, cherries, blueberries. Check it out. That's where these farmers make good money, is when it goes straight to the consumer. And that's all I really got to say about that.
Are there any socials you want to plug besides the Front Porch Dad stuff? I'll get the links from you. We'll put it in the
just
description.
ours, Michigan Blueberry Advisory Committee. We're on Facebook. That's all we really got, our website. And then Michigan Blueberry YouTube. I think Michigan Blueberries is the commission's YouTube channel as well. So they post some Michigan Blueberry stuff on there. So
Right, well,
check them out as well.
Yeah, I'll get all the links from you.
Yeah.
We'll put those in the description, and that way anyone can look up any of the information. Check out Chad's stuff on Front Porch Dads, and eat more blueberries.
Eat more blueberries.
Eat more
'em.
blueberries.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks for
That was
coming. We
awesome.
appreciate you taking
Great job.
the time out of the day to talk with us.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Thanks.
Awesome.
See you guys in the, what was this? 17? 17. All right.
Special.
Yeah, 17. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Specialty Crapcast.